Hello there, this is Saurian Killer, and I am back with the second part of the. I haven't named it yet, but the second part of suggested rule changes for the Saurian Ancient Army. I made part one, so if you haven't watched that yet, I should suggest you watch that one as well. Mainly in part one, I went over all the special rules and army specific rules and talked a little bit about them. And just to rewind, my main goal with this exercise here is to try and increase variety in the army building. Yes, so as I said, I went over all the special rules here, so now I'm just shipping directly into the hereditary spells, and I just take the book from one end to another end. And as I said in the previous video, I haven't put too many thoughts into it, so some of my ideas might be pretty wacky and pretty stupid. Some might be good, and some might just be completely irrelevant. God knows. Take it or leave it. First one here is the hereditary spell. So what happened to that spell? So in the Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 iteration, it was insanely strong, right? You had the option to do both -1 to hit and wound, and it was very popular, and one of the, I think at least, I suspect it was one of the main perpetrator of why the Saurian Ancients was performing so well in the first, at least the second version of the Alpha 2, and I think they were performing decently. I haven't been able to find very good data on it, but I think they were performing decently at version 1. I even think they're pretty good now, but that's besides the point. That spell was very strong, and here I feel like there seems to be a certain sort of stubbornness within the team, the lab team here, that they don't want to change this spell here. And despite a lot of criticism on the forum, and I'm not really sure this, I haven't really been able to, at least in my memory, I haven't seen perhaps one, but that's about it, who's positive, generally positive towards the spells. Yeah, I have seen a lot of people saying that they won't pick it, that they leave it out, or it's the spell you use when your opponent throws the dispel scroll towards one of your better spells, and then you have this as a second option out here. So it's not popular, let's just put it that way here. Personally, I have been trying out the Pedodon Riders, and using them as a substitute for the Anorak. So if you go, let's say you pick the Tego Mystics and you pick a Pedodon Riders, it leaves you with a really good variety of offensive and defensive spells, mainly defensive spells. And if you throw in a K Wisdom as well, that means you have a bounce spell that's offensive, and you have your whatever it's called, I forgot the name, the alchemy spear, the spear you can throw from the alchemy, from the Tego guards will throw the spear, so you have like, and then maybe you can find something more. You can maybe find Chilling Hall from the Elder Cayman Elders have Tego, whatever. I think you can make it decently set up here, and then the idea is that the pattern riders, I can see, right, you can pick double, you can pick healing water, and you can pick life finds away, which means it leaves you with a 5+ fortitude save, double up 5+ fortitude save, which is good. Which, I mean, that's nice. That's a strong defensive living mechanic, right? But I mean, you have to give yourself -1 to wound. It's so the team seems to be insisting that this has to have an up and downside, and the downside is just too big to be worth casting on your own unit. So the whole idea of this is a universal spell just falls to the ground, because you don't want to give yourself -1 to wound. -1 to wound is pretty big, so you want to cast it on the enemy, and then you end up maybe considering maybe you have to give him -1 to wound. It's on an 8+. I mean, it's a totally regular spell. Cinder Cloaks is exactly the same, and it works against several units. I just not really sure that this spells here belongs here. I think if you were to do it if you were to do it and you were to leave it leave it much more distinctively, like the cosmology or something like that, where you have a dark and a bright side of it. Say -1 to wound. You could even say minus and take away charge effects to make it stronger than all the regular the rule book spells, and say you lose all devastating charge bonuses or whatever. Just a -1 to wound, and then one minor thing. You could say you loses momental charge, or you loses 2 agility, or loses one movement to pursue. What do I know? I think just -1 to wound, and then a smaller thing. Maybe you loses 1 armor save. And then you have the other version where you just get plain out of 5 plus fortitude, and so you can choose. And now you will have a strong spell combined with healing water, because now you have to now you can double tap healing water. I mean that can give you a 5 plus 1 save, almost guaranteed, which is very nice. Particularly with these semi-strong blocky units Saurian Ancient have. But that's not how it works. So that's one suggestion on how to change it. Another one. Now I was writing a document at the same time here, so 2 suggestions. Hereditary spell here. Hereditary chain. Hereditary spells. Like why can't we copy it? Okay, can't copy it here. So put it here. So the hereditary. Hereditary spell, and for some reason it's big letters. Hereditary spell. Change it to look more like cosmology, so you have a good and bad version of it. One bad version minus 1 to wound, -1 to wound, plus another minor debuff. And good version, 5 plus Regan, 5 plus Rec. And like spellcast 7 makes 7, because 7 is such a good number for the frog. +7. Now okay, you get -1 to plus another minus debuff, so make it 8. You could even make it 9, right? I mean, make it a good spell and make it a +9, and may give the regular regeneration version a 7 plus, so it's better than the healing water. But it's not fantastic. Probably it should be an 8. Probably should be the same as healing water, because you can also have the bad version in there. That's and another one change. Another suggestion. Another suggestion would be change it completely to the following suggestions. Make it a first. So the first one is make it a magic missile. Make it a magic missile. And to me, like it should be like the what's it called? The one from the pyramid spells that hits all units within 24. I mean, it should be like a meteor rain. It hits all units. It hits all units. Yeah, that's make it a magic missile / AOE spell. AOE spell. Meteor rain. I don't know how to spell that, but let's call it meteoric rain. Meteoric rain. Hit all units with it in 24 inches, 1d3 plus 1, strength 4. So completely identical to the, could even make strength 5, and just to buff it a little bit, we're gonna say AP1. Fantastic. Or second change here, which I like this idea the most here. It's the change it to work in lines. We'll change it to work with predatory senses. When cast, give a friendly unit predatory senses, and apply a token, a marking token, what is called marking token, whatever. Apply a token. So this way here you gain scenes, whatever. It's probably spelled wrong. This way here you get access to rerolls, right? So now you have a good way of gaining hatred. And yeah, this if we change the spells to this, the predator rule I personally think should be changed to you apply markers as in the same way as Infernal Dwarf apply markers, and you have all sort of different. I mentioned this in the last post, but just in case people didn't hear that, is that you apply tokens in the same way as Infernal Dwarf apply tokens, and in the same way they disappear when you have used one. So you could have different kind of ways. You could have Saurian Swarms units to apply tokens in combat. You could have Marking Lures to apply tokens from shooting, and you can have now your hereditary spell to apply tokens for magic. And I think that would be a nice workaround, the token here now, and this will help you increase your. I think at least it will help increase your list building here now, so you have new ways to combine supporting units to predatory census units. So, and which is good because right now, if you want to bring a predator unit, right now you have to bring another unit, a Marking Lure unit or Skink Champion, to help them utilize their special rule, which is not fantastic at the moment here, and that's what I mean when I say the list lacks option to build differently here. And I mean, if you have different ways to apply the tokens, and if you have different ways to apply the tokens, that means you can take different kind of units to help emphasize other units in your army, right? Which is nice. Yeah, so the hereditary spell, that's my 2 takes on it, or 3 takes if you like. Yeah, so the special item here, I don't think I want to be talking too much about. I like the special items here. If I were to say 2 comments here, the new change here, the Starfall Lootstone here, Hard Target and Distraction here is a sad item, to be honest. I think it's what to say. It's the good thing is it's an artifact, right? So now you can pick an armor plus the Starfall loot. Like you could potentially pick Vital Essence combined with Starfall Lootstone, which do give you 4 wounds. Let's say you put it on a veteran orc, not a veteran, but a veteran on Rapture. That leaves him right with 4 wounds, 42 4 plus, and distraction, which I mean is good, right? And he could be 1+ save. Can he get 1+? So he's on the Raptor. That's 6. Scaly skins. That's 4. Light armor. That's 3. Shield. That's 2. Oh, okay. So he can only be 2 up, and he can potentially be 2 of rerollable, and then a 4+ ward save with distraction. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but then again, he loses a lot of punch. And you can't combine it. I mean, if you could combine Starfall, Loose Stone, Glory of the Dawn Ages, and Vital of Essence, then you have one hell of a hero, right? That would be nice. But you can't. So, sort of out of the question, right? So I'm a little bit sad about the Starfall Loose Stone. I just see it as a you used to pick this on the Carnosaur, on the Alpha Carnosaur, and I think you will continue doing that. I mean, it doesn't have. I don't think it has the things it needs. I mean, it seems weird to give these big, slow crocodiles distraction. It doesn't feel right. To me, this should be +1 armor, so you could have 2 here. If this item here, in some way could allow +1 armor, then you could have 2 1+ armor save Raptor champions, which would be nice. I don't understand why this army can't have a 1+ armor save guy. I mean, everyone else has it, and this army here is apparently not allowed to have it. But yeah, okay. And then we have the yeah, and just make it another item. Just, I think it changed the item to a more combat-orientated item to your veterans, and particularly walking veterans. Like, it could be like a dual sort of item, like give you champion insane high of, give him lethal strike, or give him distraction 2, or -1 to wound, or something like that in a duel. That would make the guy doable, good in duels. But yeah, okay. And I mean, the Kura Stone here basically takes up our BSB choice, right? So we lose we increase complexity to have a BSB, and we lose a banner enchantment in the magic item selection here, which is a shame. The bear hunters, the bears units. Personally, I would love to see a banner enchantment that increase fighting capabilities of your Tego warriors, or Tego whatever your fighting units. The old banner that gave you +1 to hit. To me, that would be a really nice comeback to see that banner back. Alchemy arrows, yeah, I think I would love to see this go back to strength 5, 4 shots, and then it didn't give magnetic short bow strength 4. Or alternatively, give the magnetic bow strength 4 and allow the skink braves to have bows, and then you're gonna have like a strong. If you wanted to invest, how much is a normal skink? It's like 90 points, right? And then you put alchemy arrows on him, then he's 130 points. A unit of skink braves is 150 points. So if you decide to invest, say, 300 points, then you can have 20-25 strength 4 shot with AP1, which is strong, but it's also 350 points. I think that could maybe not be too strong, and that seems fair in my opinion here. And now we are on it, right? We remove Starfall, Loose Stone, and we get 1 more armor. We get 1 more armor with some sort of +1 armor, so we can get access to that 1+ rerollable more easy. And I think I'm not really sure here. I think the Teapudi Smokestone is an awesome item. I think, and I use it a lot personally. I don't have too much success with it, honestly. It's not that particularly impactful, but it's only 10 points. Obelisk of the collaboration. Again, it just feels like it's a non-impactful item. It just doesn't do enough. Usually, you're playing Saurian Ancients, you usually don't get to charge. You're running around with big blocks that's 4 movement, right? You don't get to charge that often. which means this is a sort of a dead banner for you. I would here again. I would love to see some combat buffs like battle focus or what do I know in to your units to help them fight. +1 armor would also be awesome, like crocodile banner. Get it back so we can, and then only allow for Taker warriors to pick it so we can have the 3+ safe Taker warriors back. I would love to see that as well here. Hardware devices. Yeah, I personally think the hardware devices are completely great, in a great state right now. If the Terra Cookers get cheaper and you allow a little bit more variation here, then you can. If the Terra, it all depends on the Terra Cookers because they're obviously the best how the devices carriers. But if they get cheaper, right, you can certainly start imagining list building with 3 of the Ancient of the Ancient, or 3 magnetic giant bows, or 3 cave wisdoms, or some, or not, maybe not cave wisdom, because I think you could just put it. You just need 2 of these, whatever. I mean, you could also 3 sun catcher crystals, right? I mean, that would be nice too. Yeah, but I think it's just Terra Cookers, like. You can take away the stats or whatever you like, make them a little bit cheap, make them cheaper, and then make them howdah devices, carriers. Well, I think that would be beautiful, and then they're like sort of kind of chaffish, and then they have their howdah devices where they do their magic, and it would make an interesting unit addition to all the other units you have, and it's just in the perfect price, and put it in the perfect price range between the big monsters and between your block units here, and make it a shooting unit, right? I think it would be a great addition to variation of units in the list. And it would sort of be your how do you devise this? It's like very thematical for your army. How do you want to build your army? And if you want to build it very shooties, right, you bring, what do I know, 3 Ancient of the Ancient or 3 magnetic bows, and then you combine with all the other shooting things you can take. And then you have like the dot above the eye here, and the eye. It just feels like you should be able to utilize these howdah devices more freely and cheaply. But the howdah device themselves, I think they are finely priced. Maybe they should go up a little bit in price. The Ancient, and maybe like 10 points or something like that. But anyway, the Anorak Archmage here, I love the new changes. I think he's awesome. Great thing that you have to choose between your. You have to choose what you want to, how you want to make him strong. Which I think is awesome. I think Pyromancy should maximize discipline test until the start of next one. I think this is an awful debuff, which I'm not really sure why it should be there. Just make me able to pick some additional spells here. 80 points or 2 extra spells doesn't seem too strong, particularly not considering this is supposed to be a really strong wizard. But I love the idea of also separating them into the 2 here, and I mean it's some really nice options here. I think I don't have any suggestions. I think he's in a really good state. The Anorak Archmage. Personally, I think the internal mastery is the strongest at the moment. +2/+1 to cast is just really strong, and combined with the mystifying mastery with reroll to reroll to dispel attempts is really nice. But I also like, guiding mastery here. Why does it have to be beast or cavalry? Why can I not make it an infantry unit here? So let me allow me to boost my Tigger warriors. Well, I'm a Tigger warrior fan, so maybe I'm gonna bias here. Cayman Master, he's just awesome. Maybe too strong, I don't know, but I don't think he's too strong. He's just in a really nice spot. I really like this guy here. He's awesome. The Tigger veteran here. As I mentioned, if you just get that one more item that can give you +1 armor save here, so if he can pick heavy armor, if he gets access to heavy armor, I just think this guy has real good potential to be a real nice guy, and you can start putting them into your list. And actually, let's talk about the fact that you can't use these guys on foot. Okay, so Raptor, if you get access to an armor item that gives you plus 1 more armor, I mean, you can put him on a Raptor, which I'm not really sure why does it only get plus 1 armor save. Should be 2, but nevertheless, put him on the Raptor Rider, and then you have a strong character, right? Put him on an Alpha Countersaw, and then you have a beastie character. Put him on foot, and then you have a meh character. Let this take veteran, what do I know? Symbiosis. Use symbiosis with the rest of his mankind units here, and allow him the unit to get battle focus. That would be awesome. Allow him to be his BSB, whatever. Take a veteran. Gains battle rage. Let's call it battle rage. Gives him and his unit battle focus and frenzy. I think that's nice. I think it's a nice solution for the Take a Veteran, and now you can consider bringing him. I mean, what world would you ever bring Take a Veteran over Cayman Elders right now? I mean, there's no way that these guys can be built to be that much stronger than Cayman Elders, and you can have 3 Cayman Elders, right? Not quite at the same price. You can get 2 Cayman Elders at the same price of a Take a Veteran, but if you also want to have item on the Take a Veteran, then you can get like 3. So you can go with 3 strength 6, 9 strength, 6 attacks, which can be hit by characters. Or you can go with 5 whatever attacks you choose in this guys. Yeah, I mean and they also have 12 wounds, right? Where's armor save, right? But the Take a Veteran on foot, he cannot get a good armor save. So no, so if you could make him real tanky on foot as well, then I could see him work on foot. But he can't be tanky on foot, right? He needs the extra save from his Raptor Riders or something like that to be strong on foot, which is a big shame. Make him more. Make this guy more tanky when on foot. Yeah. Skink Veteran. I don't have any suggestions. I think he's probably in a fine state. Maybe give him Skink Veteran. Give him exclusive. Give him exclusive to stop chaff abuse. Yeah, I think that seems fair. Anorak Wardens. Yeah, I think it's fine as it is. Yeah, I think small changes. I'm not sure why the Anorak Wardens don't have the special weapon that Tego Guards has. Obviously, I think that's just a overseeing from the team that they didn't give the Wardens the same items, because obviously it's Tego Wardens, Tego Guards that carries him on this ward as well. Raptor Riders, I think it should have 2+. I think it should get 2+ to save instead of the 1+, but yeah. Mountain Paradons, yeah, I never tried this guy, but I've seen a lot of people play a skink champion on this Mountain Paradon and flies around. I'm not really sure I can see the good thing in him, but yeah. Paukai Sky Turn, I love this unit here. I don't use it too often, but I think it's good. Maybe I think it deserves 1 more resilience. Let's take a look at this stat here. Just take a look at this stat and compare it to a Viven, Orc Viven, right? You pay 120 points for this one here. An Orc Viven has plus 1 resilience, and you can potentially give it 1 more HP and 1 more strength and 1 more offensive, though without predator senses. and it's 20 points cheaper, right? It needs a point decrease here. I think that's pretty clear, right? It needs a point decrease. Or it needs a one high resilient. Give it resilient 5, and then I could see people want to use this guy here. Right now it's not good enough. Give it strength 6. Also right now, if you compare it to the mountain pattern, that's not a big enough. The difference between the 2 units is not big enough here. I think it should be a little stronger. Tyrosaur is great. Give the Tyrosaur Martin shoot, whatever. Rex, I don't have Alphasaurs. I think we're gonna go back to allow 2 of these guys here to increase build variation here, and then I realized that some really strong players has been bringing 2 Carnosaurs to some tournaments, and I think at least what I've seen they've been doing decently well here. So I'm ambivalent about this. I don't mind only having 1 of these guys because I know there's some strong list out there with 2 of these guys here. But yeah, maybe to allow 2 of these guys here. Yeah, it's a good question. In any case here, I think I will leave. Now I've been recording for 30 minutes here, so I will try to make the videos a little shorter than the first one here. So I think I'm gonna call it here, and I will be looking forward to try and discuss the Tech Warriors here, because I think the core section here is gonna be the key to help increase list variation here. I particularly think the Tech Warriors are the key to allow some difference, to make it feel like you're playing a different army every time you customize your Tech Warriors into something else. Yeah, well, let's talk about that next time. For now, we'll leave it here.